we've got our dear friend, former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson. Ben just launched a new conservative think tank called American Cornerstone Institute. And Ben, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you for coming on. I didn't really want to talk about this issue, but former President Obama put it on the table. I just found this somewhat odd. Somebody told me President Biden is open to a commission about it. I just wanted to get your quick take on this.
Well, you know, it's an interesting dilemma because, Larry, if you're drunk and you hit my car, I think I can expect that you should fix it. But if your grandfather was drunk and he hit my grandfather's car, it becomes a little more debatable. That is juxtaposed to the real problem, and that is, how would you administer such a problem? How do you determine who was affected? You know, there are a lot of people, like President Obama, whose ancestors were not slaves in this country. So just because he's black, does he get money? There are a lot of people who don't look black, but who have black blood in them. Do they get a percentage of money? Who sits down and determines all this, and who administers it? I think when you sat down and start trying to do it, you would realize it's impossible.
All right, well said. Now, I want to move on to economic growth in underserved communities. One of your great legacies, Art Laffer, was on this show 2 nights ago or so, and we asked him about economic inequality. Here's what Art said. What do you do?
I would do enterprise zones. I would make tax-free zones in the inner cities, Larry, so no income tax, no payroll tax, thorough review of building codes, regulations, restrictions, and requirements, making sure there's no minimum wage so that people can get jobs and learn the requisite skills to earn above the minimum wage.
All right, so Ben Carson, of course, that's what you and President Trump essentially did with opportunity zones. As I recall, you launched about 1,000 of them. I think I was on your board of advisors. I thought it was a fabulous, really signature policy for both President Trump and yourself. Laffer says it's the key to inequality. Tell us a bit about these opportunity zones, because I'm not hearing much about this during the Biden administration.
Well, I hope they will grasp the significance of what happened with the opportunity zones. Of course, there were tax incentives that encouraged people to invest unrealized capital gains in the opportunity zones, and if they left it in for 5 years, they got a 10% decrement in the amount of money they owed on that original investment as capital gains. That went up to 15% if you left it in for 7 years. 10 years, you wouldn't have to pay any capital gains on the new money realized as a result of that investment. It was expected that that program would attract about $100 billion in private investment over a 10-year period. In the first 2 years, it attracted $75 billion and produced 500,000 jobs. It's expected to lift 1 million people out of poverty. Those are the kinds of things that are highly effective. And I hope that the Biden administration will recognize that it was put forward as a bipartisan program. And because it has been successful, I hope there won't be any attempts to snuff it out, rather to build on it.
Yes, you know, Ben, I've tried for so long to argue for, minority communities, minority-owned businesses, underserved communities in general, blacks or elsewhere, that investment is crucial. And we should not penalize such investment. It's necessary. And you're saying there's an incentive for long-term investment for 10 years. This is a thought that needs to be said over and over again. Investment is the best friend, I think, of a minority businesswoman and their family. And, getting up the ladder of opportunity. It's investment.
And there's just one other thing, Larry, to add to that, and that is, we're always talking about the wealth gap. But what is the principal mechanism for wealth accumulation in this country? It is ownership of housing. And that's why we put so much emphasis on looking at ways to make sure that people in the minority community could, in fact, be able to get the housing and to be able to own the housing. Those are the kinds of things, coupled with things like opportunity zones, that make a difference. And the economic policies in the pre-COVID period that brought the unemployment rate down,
Right.
particularly in the black community, to historic lows. Those are the kinds of things that make a difference. All these theoretical things and reparations, it's not doing anything for anybody.
And
Let's
Ben,
do the things that actually work.
Absolutely. Ben, just in 10 seconds, your new foundation think tank is?
The American Cornerstone Institute. And the purpose of it is to look at the cornerstone principles that got us from nowhere to the pinnacle of the world in record time. Those are things like faith, liberty, community, and life. And if we will take those things and make them our foundation again, we will rise very rapidly.
Dr. Ben Carson, great friend, a national treasure. Thank you, sir. Wonderful to see you again. Best to Candy.